What is up, YouTube? Welcome to Fall in Line Podcast. If you guys could please remember to hit that like and subscribe button. That's where the magic happens, right behind me. Enjoy the show. What is up, people? We're back for another week of Fall in Line Podcast. My name is Ross. I'm here with my boys Austin and TT. What's going on, fellas? How we feeling?
A little depressed after week one.
Yeah.
It was a rough one. Very rough week.
We did go 0 for 3 as our favorite teams. That's not ideal, but, you know, keep moving.
Yeah, it's a long season.
Yes. So, let's talk about our locks. Not only did our teams go 0-3, our locks went 0-3. So, not good. If you commented below and you got it correct, which would be our guy Willie, and then go ahead with the other one.
Our only other winner for this past week is going to be my dad, Anthony. Took the Bills at -2.5.
I think Will had Vikings -2.5, I believe.
-2.5.
Or plus? No, they were plus.
Or plus,
they were underdogs.
Yeah.
And they whooped. But yeah, so those two are in the lead right now. They're 1-0 and we're 0-1, and all they have to do is beat us for at least 10 weeks, and then they win that $50 Amazon gift card. It's not too late to join. If you're watching this, comment below your lock of the week, and you can be entered to win that $50 Amazon gift card. We're going to draw a name at the end of the season, and whoever wins that wins it all. And, you know, so basically with that, we got some catching up to do.
Yeah.
But first, let's talk about week one. Let's do. Who do you guys think the most surprising win of week one was?
I guess my most surprising win of the week it's not necessarily a win. I'm going to take the Texans, tying the Colts. Watching the Texans and just looking at everything they lost between the last few years, between Watson and Hopkins and everyone else, I wasn't expecting them to keep up with the Colts, who I projected as one of my teams that's going to go pretty far. So they didn't necessarily win. They tied, but that's going to be my...
All right, Austin, who you got?
I know Chicago. It was a sloppy game, but Fields looked good. Defense looked good. Did not expect that.
Yeah.
Good win.
That was a good win. I'm going with the Giants. A lot of people counted them out, including us.
Come back.
Saquon absolutely looked the part of his draft stock.
Yeah.
Absolutely looked like the monster we know he can be. First game of that head coach, his career, and he wins it. I think that was an awesome win.
Mm-hmm.
This is kind of the same thing, but I have a different one. I'm also going with the most impressive win. So we have most surprising, mine was the Giants. Most impressive win to me was Seattle. I think Seattle winning that game, prime time against their quarterback, who obviously had an advantage. He knows what it's like to play there more than anyone else on that field. Yeah. He knows what he's up against, and he still couldn't get the job done. Seattle, the crowd was rocking. They did their part. It was awesome to watch. Lost a little money on it, but that was awesome. Gino, shout out to you. You balled out last night.
Yeah, he looked really well.
When you fumble on the goal line twice, you're not going to win games like that. Mine is the Texans. I did not expect that at all, but they showed that they can win with Davis Mills, and if they get some pieces on them, who knows what could happen. So.
My most impressive one is going to be the Giants. I like that they went out, and I like that they went for 2, and then they were like, "Yo, I mean, we have nothing to lose here. Let's go get it." And like you said, got his first win on the season, so Saquon definitely looked his part.
Yeah,
might have to buy some stock in that, man. That guy looked good.
And if you guys can't tell, I'm chomping at the bit here for this next part. What did I say in the last podcast? We did the pick 'em. I said this is most likely going to be in my hands, and as of week 1, I am the winner. We're not going to talk about our records because, wow, that was embarrassing.
Yeah.
But I did end up winning here, and I will say the records. TT, you went 6-9. Austin, you went 6-9. I went 7-8. Not impressive, but I'll take the W belt. I'll take the W. Week 1 is mine, baby. 1-0.
Dude, none of us went 500?
No, it was very tough. So I'll just keep this right here if you guys don't mind. It's just over here where it belongs, where it'll probably stay. But let's get past that. Let's go to week 2.
Yeah.
Let's see if we can regroup and do better here. Another phenomenal Thursday night football game. September 15th, Thursday night football. Chargers at Chiefs, with the Chiefs favored by 3.5. What a phenomenal game that's going to be. Go ahead, DT.
I'm going to take the Chiefs in this game. The Chiefs, they embarrassed us. They made us look awful.
You being the Cardinals, yes.
Yeah, the Cardinals. They just look so good that I think they're going to continue, and it definitely showed that Mahomes might not need Tyreek Hill anymore. So, Travis Kelce played his part. I got the Chiefs, and they're going to it's going to be close. I don't know if I necessarily touch the spread, but Chiefs.
I think this game's going to be an absolute shootout, but I think that Los Angeles Chargers do have a little bit of a better defense that can contain Mahomes. With Khalil Mack had an amazing game, so I think him and Joey Bosa contain Mahomes and they come out with the win.
Oh, I'm going. That's. I did not expect that. I'm going Chiefs. I think the Chiefs. I was the only one to pick them week 1. I'm still high up on the Chiefs. I think that a lot of people kind of counted them out with the Tyreek Hill departure. I think that the Chiefs are going to handle it. Chargers looked very impressive against the Raiders. Chiefs looked more impressive. I'm going with the Chiefs.
And J.C. Jackson is still questionable, so we'll see if he plays. That'll be a big impact.
Huge part of their defense. You're correct. Yes. All right. Let's go on. Let's go Colts at Jags. Colts -4 in this game.
Yeah, I'm taking the Colts. I think they bounced back. They had a tough week last week, but I think they continued to pound the rock with Jonathan Taylor, and they bounced back and get the win.
Yeah, go ahead.
Can I grab that hammer?
Oh, we got our first lock. Let's go.
I got the Colts -4. They're going to be my lock of the week.
Oh.
Last week was embarrassing, and they're a better team than that. I still believe that. It's week 1. Jonathan Taylor still rushed for over 100. Matt Ryan, maybe just nerves with the new team. I think they get it under control, and they beat the Jags by more than 4. So I'm going to take the Colts as my lock this week.
Not a bad pick at all. I'm going to also go with the Colts here. I think the Colts are a much better team than they showed last week, as was mentioned. I think that the Colts will have a bounce-back game. I think that, and this is just my own speculation, I think the preseason hype got to them a little bit. I think that a lot of people are picking them as like the sleeper to possibly win the Super Bowl. Then you come out and lay an egg week 1. I think that was enough for them to wake up a little bit, and I think they actually win this game pretty handily. But per week 1, our games that we think win pretty handily aren't very handily. So let's see.
Yeah.
Any given Sunday.
Yeah, any given Sunday. What are you feeling?
Oh, I said the Colts.
Okay. Colts -4. Let's get it. All right. Dolphins at Ravens. Ravens -3.5 in this game. This is an interesting game. This is a fast offensive game. What are you feeling, Austin?
Oh, after watching the Dolphins beat up my Pats last week, I'm taking the Dolphins. There's just too much on offense.
This was my one where I was really back and forth this week. I think I'm going to lean the Ravens here. The Dolphins, they didn't necessarily impress me. Like I said last week, I thought it was going to be an ugly game. I still think that offense is just ugly. Not saying it's bad, but I don't think they're there combined yet together. And Lamar looked pretty good. I was watching that game a lot, so I'm gonna go Ravens.
They did play the Jets, but
yeah. They still definitely Lamar had the depot going.
Yeah, he did.
Yeah. I'm going Ravens as well here. It really came down to, and I still think this game is an extremely tough game to pick. Dolphins looked very good last week. Ravens looked very good last week as well. But what Tua are we going to get, and what Lamar are we going to get? Because those guys are hit or miss. But I think that there's a better chance we get the good Lamar than the good Tua. I've been bagging on Tua a little bit too much on this podcast. I mean, he definitely, he played decently well. So, but I'm still going Ravens here. That's the pick. And then Panthers at Giants. Giants are favored in this one by 2.5.
That's surprising.
That was a very big surprise when I was looking at this. And again, I just want to let you guys know, these lines that we were saying are at the time of the podcast. They are subject to change. So, we're just doing it based off of what the lines are at this moment, before any late week injuries or anything along those lines. But yeah, TT, what are you feeling? Panthers at Giants. Giants minus 2.5.
Yeah, this is a really hard week to pick from. The Giants played their hearts out last week, but I do think the Panthers are the better team here. They didn't look the best from week 1. I think they might get a little bit more control going in the offense. Look at CMC to probably really take off this week, and he's gonna put up some big numbers. Baker gets a couple. I think he throws for a touchdown or 2. So I'm gonna take the Panthers here.
That's fair.
Yeah, I mean, for me, it comes down to Mayfield and CMC versus Daniel Jones and Saquon. And for me, I'm taking Mayfield and CMC all day over Daniel Jones. And I like Saquon, but I just think Panthers have it all.
I think it really comes down to Danny Dimes.
Yeah.
What a fun running back matchup that
Yeah.
is.
Oh, yeah.
Two guys that have a lot to prove this year. Giants, very impressive week 1 win. Like we mentioned before in our our preview or our post game last week. It was unbelievable what they did. They have a lot of love for that coach, a lot of fire behind him.
Yeah.
But I think I can't imagine we don't see a bounce back game from CMC and Baker.
Yeah.
I got the Panthers in this one. I think it's a big bounce back game for them. That was a pretty ugly showing they had against Cleveland. They had a few chances to really come back and win that game, and they still almost did, but they didn't, and that's all that counts.
Right.
All right, let's move on. Patriots at Steelers. Patriots favored by 1.5 here on the road. Yeah.
So I'm going with my Pats.
Yeah, I was going to say.
That's not a question.
You start us off. Go
Mac
ahead.
Jones he left the game. He wasn't healthy, but I think he'll come back and he'll be fine. He'll play. Wide receivers need to step up. Didn't see much from Devontae Parker against his old team, but I think we have enough weapons that no TJ Watt, so I think we get the win.
I'm gonna go Steelers. Sorry about that, but I personally think that the Steelers really impressed me week 1 and showed that they are just there. I always thought it was Roethlisberger to get the win out, but last week really showed like they just have a decent team.
Yeah,
that's what it is. And I think it's going to come down to a really close game at the end, but I'm going to go Steelers.
Yeah, so I was feeling Steelers the whole time. I had Steelers written down. The TJ Watt thing really popped in my head a few times. Now that I hear Najee Harris, although he said he's gonna play, is a little banged up as well.
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna go with Patriots on the road. I think I'd feel more comfortable if the Patriots had won last week. I think I would have picked the Steelers in this game, but I just feel like the Patriots are gonna come out there pretty fired up. I know the Steelers will as well. That's a huge win for them, but I'm going Patriots here. That game is a toss up in my head. It literally it came down to right now for this pick.
It's just one you stay away from.
I had no idea. Yeah, I had no idea. But yeah, I'm gonna go with Patriots. I'm gonna ride with my guy. All right, let's move on. Jets at Browns. Browns favored by 6. I think that the line there, and a lot of people are very impressed with what they saw with the Browns week 1. I know a lot of people wrote them off in that game. I am going Browns here. That was a gutsy performance last week. I think that they are a lot better all-around team. I actually said that in the first podcast. I said I was taking the Panthers, but I will go as far as to say that the Browns were the better overall team. I just thought Brissett was going to be one to hold them back, and I think that that's not going to be the case this time. I think the Browns are going to win this game pretty handily. But yeah, they also got one heck of a kicker on the Browns.
Yeah, they
he
do.
nailed that. That thing was good from 70 plus.
Kate York, right?
Yeah, Kate York. They drafted him, dude. That ball was smashed.
Yeah.
But Austin, what are you feeling in this one?
Yeah, I'm saying Cleveland as well. Just all around better talent. Liked what I've seen from Jacoby. You got the two-headed monster in the backfield.
Yeah.
Good defense. I'm going Cleveland -6 at least. But
At least.
I'm also going to go Browns here. I think it comes down to being able to stop the run. and the Jets can't do it against, like you said, that two-headed monster between Kareem Hunt looked good last week.
Yeah, he did.
He had 2 touchdowns. Nick Chubb looked good too. He was breaking a lot of tackles. Obviously, he didn't get the touchdown that I needed on my fantasy team, but yeah, Browns here because the Jets can't stop the run.
Yeah. We're agreeing a little bit too much here on this podcast here. I don't know. That's not good news for the teams we're picking. I'm sorry to you guys. Yeah. So let's Bucs at Saints. The Buccaneers are favored by 3 here.
I'll leave this one off, and you can pass me that Hanley.
Oh, boy.
I think this is a changing of the
Come
tides.
on now.
This is a changing of the tides in that division because Saints are going to come out and not only win by less than a field goal, but they're going to win the game. This is a changing of the tides in the division.
Hammer time, baby.
Yep. Winston looked good at the end of the game. Came through with 2 touchdowns at the end, so I think they stay hot and win the game.
This is my pick where I'm just kind of sitting here, and it comes down to this moment. Austin took the Saints. I like going against Austin. I don't know why.
Oh my god.
Brady's.
And I hate going against TB12. But
Brady's the greatest winner
Done it
ever.
2 weeks in a row.
Yeah. Brady's the greatest winner ever. I think the Bucs pull it out. It's not a game I would touch with a 10-foot pole. It's gonna be close. Like 27-26 like the Saints had last week, but reversed. Bucs win just because Brady gets, look at a sideline and he's going to show his face mad and they're going to pull it out.
Yeah. I'm going Bucs here. I went against Brady last week. It burned me. I thought that team was going to be offensive powered and it was going to be a shootout, but what they did to that Cowboys offense was very, very impressive.
Yeah.
Winfield.
Yeah, the defense stood out
heck
to
of a
me.
game. So that's what stuck out to me, and I can't ignore, although they won, I can't ignore how bad the Saints played for most of that game.
Michael Thomas got his touchdowns.
He got 2 of them. We did call that. We did ask if they would force that. They didn't force it. He earned those. But yeah, I'm going Buccaneers. I think their defense was as impressive as their offense, and I'm not going against Tom Brady again this soon. It might take me a little bit into the season to make that mistake again. But let's go Commanders at Lions. Lions favored by 2.5. And let me throw this little tidbit out there. A little inside source, my family group chat. Shout out to you, Shawnee. This is the first time the Lions have been favored in 24 games.
Jeez.
24 games, people. First time we're favored. So, with that being said, give me this hammer. I'm going Lions minus 2.5. Lions minus 2.5, baby. Let's go. One pride. Come on, Lions. Win the game. Also, let me add on to that. Lions, we fought to the end, just like Dan Campbell promised last game.
Mm-hmm.
We barely lost to a very good Eagles team. I have high praise for this team. I think that we are going to win this game at home and set the tone correctly. I think the way we finished last game is going to be huge for the momentum going into this game.
Yeah.
That's my lock. Come on, Lions.
Yeah, I'm going Lions as well. They're at home. They have the momentum. What more do you need?
Yeah, the Commanders didn't look too impressive to me. The Lions' running game looked really impressive to me. So I'm going to take the Lions here too. I think they cover that spread too. Lions at home for, like you said, 24 games.
24 games. First time favorite in 24 games.
They're
Shout out my cousin
gonna
Sean
win.
for that
They're
one.
going to win this one. So, yeah, Lions, and I'm also going to touch that spread at 2.5. I think they win by probably a minimum of 10.
All right. Well, that ends the noon games. Let's move on to the late afternoon games. Starting off with Falcons at Rams, with the Rams favored by 10.5. Yeah, go ahead and start us off, TT.
So the Falcons were another impressive team. The first half of their game, once again, what do the Falcons do? They choke like they always do. I'm not saying they're going to win. The Rams are going to win this game. The spread's at -10, but I think the Rams did not look impressive. I don't know if they, we were talked about Super Bowl hangover. Falcons might keep this closer, but I do have the Rams winning this game. Stafford, I hope he comes out. He's my fantasy quarterback. I hope he throws for over 3 with a couple touchdowns here. Yeah. I need it.
He needs it.
Yeah, I think the offense. The offense bounces back here, and Cam Akers, Allen Robinson, they need a bounce back week for a couple of my fantasy teams. So I think they come out and put up maybe 50 against that defense.
Yeah, I'm going Rams here. I think 10.5 is an outrageous spread in the NFL, but I am not shocked by that. I think the Rams, as much as people call it a profession and, you got to be ready any given Sunday, I think that they're pretty embarrassed with their performance against the Bills at home.
Yeah.
They're at home again. They owe it to the crowd. They owe it to themselves to play better than that. I think that they dominate this game. I think that Stafford has a bounce back game. I mean, if Akers even gets 1 yard, he'll have a bounce back game.
Yeah.
And I do think that there's been a lot of talk about Allen Robinson not getting the ball. I think that they're going to get him the ball. But I'm not going to go ahead and act like this is crazy because I think the Bills are that good. I think the Bills earned that game because they are that good.
I seen something, this is just one of those Facebook posts. I seen something that Stafford had something with him and Robinson were almost beefing or something like that. And then they were not interested in giving Cam Akers at all because he wasn't showing any motivation to play. And that's really, those two were just kind of, it seemed like outcasted. I don't know how true it is. It's just something that I was reading.
Don't quote us on that hot take.
Exactly.
If you do quote him.
Not to mention the defense is way better than what they showed against the Bills. So
way
I think
better.
that they definitely bounce back.
You're not going to see Jalen Ramsey get burned that many times.
No.
But Seahawks pulling that win out of their behinds at Niners. Niners -9 in this game. Favored by 9. That is wild.
Unreal.
I'll kick this one off here. I am going with the Niners. I think the Seahawks had a very emotional win.
Yeah.
And, we talk about Super Bowl hangovers. That kind of felt like that might have been close to their Super Bowl this season.
Yeah.
Beating Russ, having the crowd just absolutely rocking. I know their crowd is rocking a lot. I do not think the Niners get anywhere close to covering that spread. I think that it's a close game again. It's on the road, so that doesn't sound good for the Seahawks, but I think the Seahawks do keep it a lot closer. Go ahead.
Go ahead.
So I think either this is the week of the bounce back or I just don't know football because I think San Francisco bounces back, and if San Francisco doesn't beat the Seahawks, I just don't know what's up with the NFL. But
you can't lose to the Bears and the Seahawks back to back.
You might see Jimmy G.
Oh,
yeah.
That happens.
If it gets super bad.
If it was to the Seahawks, you might see Jimmy G.
Niners. I think, like you said, very emotional game. This was at home for Seattle, too, their last win, and you got a quarterback that took you to a Super Bowl. I mean, Pete Carroll knows Russell Wilson. He doesn't know much about Trey Lance. Not that Trey Lance looked good at all week 1, but I do have the Niners pulling this out. So I think their defense wins them the game, and you might see it closer than that spread, too, but I got Niners.
Also, we can't forget to point out Jamal Adams tore a squad or something.
Yeah, so
I think he's out for season.
No, I don't know if he's out for the season, but I know he's going to be out for a while. I wasn't sure completely what his injury is.
I think he might be out for season, but
we move on. I'll try to see if I can look it up. Yeah.
But let's move on to Cardinals at Raiders. Raiders -6 in this game. They are favored by 6. TZ, why don't you go ahead with this one?
Last week hurt, man. It hurt a lot. The Raiders also didn't look too good. I don't think. Carr threw 3 interceptions, I believe. Yeah. This game's going to come down to the secondary. I'm not going to blame it on the injuries we had, but we did have some injuries. I'm going to take us just because it is my team, even though how bad we looked. High-scoring game. I think it comes down to Carr throwing an interception, maybe last few drives, and we seal the deal.
You guys and picking your own teams. I won this belt by 1 game. I picked the Eagles last week to beat the Lions. Just saying. They're not serious about the belt. Go ahead, Austin.
Oh, I'm going Las Vegas in this one. That offense was fun to watch.
Yes.
Defense is good as long as they can contain Kyler Murray, and I think Max Crosby can do that, so I'm going Vegas.
I need the Cardinals to show me something out of that defense before I can pick them. What they showed against the Chiefs was not Cardinals. They're not that bad. They're a lot better team than that. I just think that they have the unfortunate luck of starting the season against the Chiefs and the Raiders, especially at the Raiders. I like the Raiders' offense a lot. I think the Raiders win this game.
Especially in that new stadium.
So, before we move on, I do have Seahawks safety Jamal Adams needs knee surgery more than likely and is probably out for the remainder of the 2022 season.
Yeah, I thought I read that.
Yeah, that's coming from Sports Illustrated. It's probably pretty reliable there, so we'll go with Jamal Adams more than likely being out the rest of the season. If we find out more, we'll
huge
let
on
you
their
know.
defense
Yeah.
too. That's their main component.
Yeah.
Bengals at Cowboys. Bengals are favored by 7 on the road against a Cooper Rush-led Cowboys. And I'll go ahead and start this one because that's all that needs to be said. Cooper Rush-led Cowboys. I'm going Bengals in this game. Almost was my lock of the week if they didn't screw me over on my lock of the week last week, taking them over the Steelers. Joe Burrow, you're my guy. Please step up this week because you lost me fantasy last week. But yeah, no, I got Bengals winning this game pretty handily. Yeah, all that I have to say is Cooper Rush is the starting quarterback for the Cowboys. That's it. That's all I got.
Yeah, so like I said, it's the week of the bounce back. So I think the Bengals offense bounces back, puts up points against that weak Cowboys defense, and takes the win easily.
It's a good trend. You got the Lions bouncing back. Is that what it was? Because they're such a good team. They need to bounce back. Yeah. Fair enough.
Yeah, Bengals. Like you said, Cooper Rush. Not much to say. I don't think even with Dak playing, I didn't think the Cowboys looked good. I called it at the beginning of the year. I thought the Cowboys were going to be a very not awful team, but I didn't expect them to do a lot. So Bengals, I think they win it pretty easily. Joe Burrow's pretty mad at how he performed last week.
Yeah, and the Cowboys had CeeDee Lamb get locked up, and they just looked so one-dimensional. Tried to hand the ball off like 80% of the game. Couldn't get anybody open besides CeeDee Lamb. They need Michael Gallup back. They need some of the weapons back if they want to.
I think Gallup is returning this week, too.
Is he back?
I think he is returning.
Well, they'll need him.
It was just more of a safety precaution to keep him out.
Yeah. All right. Let's go Texans at Broncos. Broncos are favored by 10 in this game. And week of the bounce back. Austin, would you like to start us off with this one?
No, I think the Texans keep the momentum going. And they keep it within 10. I don't know if they win, but the way that Wilson looked, they just did not look good at all. They looked kind of one-dimensional as well, besides Judy getting open. But I think Davis Mills looks good, and I think they can't pull off the win, but I think they keep it close at least. So
I'm going Broncos in this game as well. I do think Texans do keep it a little bit closer. They looked more impressive. So
I'm going Texans, by the way.
You're going Texans?
Just to clarify that for you guys.
I was going to say, I didn't know which direction you were going.
Yeah.
That's what I was wondering.
I think Texans keep it within 10.
Yeah.
And
but do you think that they
win?
Who do you think wins?
No.
Oh, you think
Broncos winning?
Yeah.
Okay, I got Broncos winning as well. I think that Wilson just needs a little bit of time to mesh with his new wide receivers, his new weapons. Preseason's kind of a joke nowadays. Teams are, I don't know why teams don't play more in the preseason. I understand injuries happen, but let's be real here. You see it all throughout the league. Teams start out very slow, but I'm going Broncos in this game. I think minus 10 is pretty hefty. But yeah, I'm going Broncos to win the game, but not by 10.
I think preseason had a lot to do with a lot of these teams. You didn't see Rodgers play. You didn't see Brady play. You didn't see Kyler play. You didn't see Russ play. None of these quarterbacks play preseason at all. You're playing in practice. When it gets to game time, it's a lot different. So I think that they finally got a game under their belt. You get a full week of practice in. I'm not saying they're going to be mid-season form anywhere close. There's still going to be a lot of slip-ups here and there. But now that they can breathe, they got the first game underneath their belt. I see the Broncos taking this one. I think it's going to be easy for them. Yeah, I agree. They're going to get some healthy guys back. I know they had like 2 or 3 linebackers missing. I think they take this one, and the Texans. I do think the spread covers.
Yeah,
I think it covers.
All right, that ends it for the late afternoon games. Now we're to Sunday Night Football, the rivalry of the NFL. Bears at Packers. Packers are favored by 10. Bears with a huge win. Packers with a huge loss. I think that this is going to be a lot closer than the -10. These teams always play pretty close. Mm-hmm. There's those random blowouts, usually in the Packers' favor. I do think this is going to be closer. I think the Packers are still trying to figure out their new assets and all that. Mm-hmm. But I do have the Packers winning this game by probably a little bit. I'll give them a touchdown. I think they're going to win by a touchdown, and it's going to come down a little bit later in the game. But yeah, I'm going Packers Sunday Night Football. Yeah, that's what I got.
Yeah, Christian Watkins had 2 breakaway touchdowns that should have been caught for touchdowns, and he would have been gone. I think this week he doesn't make that mistake. He makes that catch, and they get the win.
You said Watson? Christian Watson?
Christian Watson.
Yeah.
I think Chicago keeps it close, as you said. They always play each other tough, but I think the Packers do get the win at home.
Yeah.
Sunday night.
You know my family, they're all Bears fans, right?
Yeah. Where you going?
I don't like my family. Packers win. They blow them. I wouldn't say blow them out, but they're going to win by at least 10 here. Rodgers looked mad. I was like watching a lot of sideline.
He looked like the old Rodgers yelling at his coaches.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, he looked mad. I think he's going to find some open things. The reason I think the Bears won last week is because they're used to playing in that type of weather. Mm-hmm. Cold, wet, all that type of field. Mm-hmm. But I was still watching them, and it seemed like they didn't trust Justin Fields. Yeah. So I'm going to go Green Bay here. I think they cover the spread, too. I'm not going to lie to you.
They should have Allen Lazard back, too, which gives them another
That's a huge, and it's crazy to say that he's a vet on that team, but he is.
It's like 2 or 3 years.
Yeah. All right. The doubleheader Monday Night Football game.
Can't wait.
The first game is Titans at Bills. Bills favored by 10 at home. I almost did a lock of the week in this game on the Bills. Yeah. I truly think the Bills are going to blow them out of the water because the Bills are so good, and I am so weirded out by how bad the Titans played against the Giants. Just how they lost that game is unfathomable.
Very.
You have what was it? They were up 13-0. You're up 13-0 with the best running back in the league, and somehow you still lose the game. Mm-hmm. I mean, I don't know. I'm going Bills in this game. The -10. It almost was my lock, but I think the Bills crushed them for the first game. But yeah, what are you guys feeling?
Yeah, after watching the Bills last week, it's tough not to pick them. I think they do win this game handily. I'm going Bills.
So, everyone thinks the Titans' only offense is Derrick Henry, and it is. Derrick Henry was bottled up last week. Mm-hmm. I don't remember exactly how many yards he had. I think he had like 84 or 94, but it was on like almost 20 carries. Mm-hmm. He averaged 3.9 yards per carry. He seemed like when he was running the ball, that injury last year, he seemed scared almost. He didn't run like he used to.
He got rocked one good time.
Yeah, he did.
Linebacker rocked.
Yeah, and he wasn't putting his shoulder down. He was running very high. Titans they're looking awful right now to start off the season, and I think the Bills handle business. Best team in the league to me. They handle business easy here.
Titans want to change the narrative, go out and win this game, and that changes the narrative real quick.
Yeah, but I don't see it happening.
No, I don't either. But Titans usually wake up for games like this. But I still think the Bills are that good.
Not in Buffalo on Monday night.
Yeah, those fans are nuts.
Yeah.
Vikings at Eagles. Eagles favored by 1.5 here. I'm not starting this one because I don't have a freaking clue.
Go ahead. You want to go or you want me to?
Well, you can go ahead, man.
Me go? Okay.
Yeah,
Migos. Eagles looked pretty good on offense, I thought. Jalen Hurts was scrambling. A.J. Brown was going mad. But the Vikings offense looked better to me. Justin Jefferson looked unreal. Yeah. He had more yards than the Packers. He had more yards than the Packers game total in the first half.
Yeah.
He's going to continue. Darius Slay, I don't know if he's going to be able to keep up with this guy. Mm-hmm. Justin Jefferson right now is a top 3 receiver in this league. Kirk Cousins loves him. Adam Thielen had a decent game. They just showed out. I think the Vikings win this one away, but it's going to be close. Mm-hmm. It will be close.
Yeah, I think this one is a shootout. why do we see lose on both sides? It was insane. I think Devonta Smith does wake up this week, though. He didn't have a single catch last week. I think all the focus is going to be on A.J. Brown, and Devonta Smith wakes up and gets 100-plus yards and 1 or 2 touchdowns. So I think the Eagles definitely win.
Devonta Smith had a tough game against Jeff Okudah. Shout out my boy Hefe.
He looked good.
Yeah, he did. This was, like I said, no clue which direction I'm going with this. I'm going Eagles. I think that secondary with Bradbury and getting Slay, I think that they are up for the task of Justin Jefferson. I know that the Vikings offense is very, very talented and explosive. I think from what I saw out of the Eagles defense that I know they end up giving up quite a few points to the Lions, but they had a defensive touchdown. They were flying all over the field. They did have a really tough time against the run against us, but I think the Vikings are more or less wanting to pass, so that's not really going to be the issue. I know they have Dalvin Cook, but you also got Justin Jefferson, so you're going to be looking to pass.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'm going Eagles. I think that secondary keeps up with Jetta's.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah.
Yeah, and I think Jordan Davis stuffs the hole, and Dalvin Cook has a tough night.
I think what really came down to me picking this game was where it was. Whatever field this was at, I was going to pick that team.
Mm-hmm.
I think the -1.5 could honestly just be a pick 'em.
I feel like this is like one of the first times we got to watch Jalen Hurts also prime time.
Yeah.
I don't know if they really had a primetime game other than playoffs, obviously, last year.
Yeah.
He looked all right in the playoff game. Cousins has been on primetime games before.
Yeah.
He usually looks pretty decent primetime-wise. So
Cousins is up for the task.
That kind of led me to my pick, but yeah.
Jalen's fun to watch, too. He likes to get out of the pocket. He likes to make plays.
I'm just still not a believer when it comes to a crunch time in a close game that he's going to be able to do it.
True.
Passing, so.
All right, well, shout out Plexico Burris.
Shout out to Johnny Unitas, one of the most underrated QBs of all time.
Shout out to the swaggiest kicker of all time, Jay Feely.
Jay Feely. All right, give me this helmet. My hair is fine. I finally got a haircut. I don't even have to say sorry about my hair. Let's go. That's another week of Fall in Line podcast with the boys. And yeah, it's a wrap.
We're coming back.
Appreciate you guys for coming out.
Like and
Let's
subscribe.
get
Get the
subscribe.
comments in.
Yes, sir.
Those locks in.